This week we're talking about synthesis, and we've already, hopefully, watched the video about synthesis. You've read some of the articles, you've watched some of the videos, you've participated in the discussion, which is a small piece of this larger assignment that's due on Sunday. The synthesis academic template essay is really just a chance for you to practice the interconnectedness of ideas in an essay with just the body paragraphs, so not an introduction and not a conclusion. For this assignment, you're going to use the synthesis academic template provided in the week 4 module and the sample paragraphs below that are used for an example of creating a synthesis. So the sample template that you use in the discussion is part of this final piece that you turn in, and then there are 2 more sample synthesis paragraphs that are part of this essay, or that are part of this prompt, that will create the whole piece of the assignment. So what you're going to do is use our course discussion on the main points of the article, along with another source of your choosing. You're going to write 3 body paragraphs that demonstrate the synthesis of ideas and the back and forth conversation between your sources as you argue about 3 separate points you pulled from the article. In this, you practice the sandwiching techniques for building your argument, and there's an article that's about that specifically. The synthesis demonstrated in the synthesis template discussion. In the quote integration video, while mimicking the structure, syntax, and tone of the template, which is really just you learning academic language and transition to use for this kind of argument. You don't have to have the highlighted sources the same way I do. Really, the idea is that these, and I'll show you what you mean. See how I've color-coded it just like the discussion. Those are there to demonstrate the flow of conversation that you're working to achieve. So the article that you're using as a source for this is Education in the Disinformation Age. It's in 88 essays in the course content. There's a link in the week 4 module. There's also a link in the discussion, and then you'll have to scroll through until you get to the Education in the Disinformation Age essay. So it's a book of essays. And then you get to choose your second source, another source of your choosing that adds to the discussion about education in the disinformation age. You can use any of the sources that she links to in her argument or her essay, but you can also just Google a source. That's fine by me. For this particular discussion, keep in mind that you will have to create a works cited page for this. There is a video on building works cited citations in the MLA module. The resources that create this assignment are everything that's in the course content. They are set up sequentially, so if you don't go through them in the right order, you are probably not going to understand what I'm talking about. So we've got the sandwiching article, the quote integration video, the synthesis template, which is a discussion that you're going to be participating in. And here's the assignment guidelines. You're going to upload the 3 paragraphs in MLA format into a synthesis paragraphs assignment Dropbox. So in other words, you are just writing the body paragraphs of this paper. No introduction and conclusion is required. We're looking for 500 to 800 words. A works cited page and in-text citations are required. So there's pieces of the source paragraphs that demonstrate how the in-text citations would look. So you'll have a chance to see that. And then this is how you're graded. 20% is graded on the organizations. Did you have 3 paragraphs? Do they have topic sentences? Did you provide examples and evidence? Did you provide analysis? And did you reach a conclusion for each? And that was the goal of that first template that you did in the discussion. You can literally copy that as any of your paragraphs, paragraph 1, 2, or 3 in this assignment. 20% is development. Did you demonstrate synthesis? Did you sandwich your quotes? Did you provide a concession and a counter argument? And the way the language reads in the template, you can't help but provide a concession. Did you use quality source integration? So that's that quote integration video. 20% is coherency, which just means clear, concrete language. 20% is grammar, mechanics, and MLA. And 20% is did you follow the format that I put here? So don't break these up. I had a student last semester who turned that one essay from the discussion into like 4 paragraphs. No, that is 1 paragraph. Get used to the idea that paragraphs are much bigger in academic writing because you have more information, more evidence, more explanation of that evidence. So here's an example. You use the template that you created for the discussion is one of your paragraphs. And then here are 2 more paragraphs that offer a similar type of template that you can use. So we have topic sentence, source 1. You can see an in-text citation. This would be your interpretation or explanation. This is source 2, back to source 1, back to your source, and finally a conclusion. And we see that same thing playing out here. So obviously you're not going to use the exact same words. For example, this one says, most people assume Amish teenagers live a strict Christian existence in which they never do anything wrong, right? So that's a great topic sentence, has nothing to do with what you're reading about. You guys are reading about disinformation or education in the disinformation age. So you will have different sourcing, but the idea is the same, where you've got this back and forth flow between your sources and your own thoughts, and that you're explaining it. So those act as paragraph 2 and paragraph 3 that you're turning in. They do have to intersect, like they can't be 3 separate paragraphs about 3 different topics. They're all based on that article, Education in the Disinformation Age. Sorry, I had to think about what the exact title was. Education in the Disinformation Age. It's all based on that, and then other sources that back up or provide a different viewpoint. She offers quite a few links in there. You can use the linked articles, or you can find your own. And so if you look at the example, if you have green as Education in the Disinformation Age, if that's the source here, this is your opinion, so then you would need a source for here. That's the blue text. So it works just like the discussion. This is one of those assignments. We'll see how it works online. How about that? But the goal is for you to learn that you are following a certain flow of ideas and demonstrating good synthesis. And it's practice because I'm going to expect you to use synthesis in your research paper and to a certain extent in your second essay that will be due after this one. So let me know if you have any questions. Don't wait for me to answer something in the discussion box, though. If you have questions, send me an email. I haven't been on there yet today, but I will check my email this week because I know this is one of those assignments that you will have questions on. Don't feel bad. Send me an email so I know where you're confused at.